On a cold and rainy night, Dr. Gustavo, a brilliant surgeon respected for his skill and dedication, is returning home after a long shift at the hospital. As he drives through the dimly lit streets, he encounters a sight that will change his life forever. A frail, homeless woman trembling under a thin layer of fabric on the sidewalk. Her name is Clara, a woman whose life was shattered by loss and despair, leaving her to endure the unforgiving streets. Touched by her plight, Gustavo decides to intervene, driven by compassion. What begins as a simple act of kindness soon turns into a journey neither of them could have predicted. A journey of healing, transformation, and an unexpected love that challenges societal norms and their own fears. This is a story about the power of second chances, the courage to overcome prejudice, and the beauty of finding love in the most unexpected places. It was a cold winter night in São Paulo. Dr. Gustavo, a renowned surgeon at one of the city's largest hospitals, was finishing his shift. In the hospital parking lot, he looked at the heavy rain and sighed, relieved to finally head home. On his way, driving through the dark streets, he noticed a figure curled up on the sidewalk. Clara, wearing tattered clothes, was trying to shield herself from the rain under a storefront awning. Her lost expression and visible shivering stirred something inside Gustavo. He hesitated, thinking of driving on, but something stopped him. He pulled over, grabbed an umbrella, and approached her. "Gustavo, excuse me, are you okay? Do you need help?" Clara looked up, surprised and wary. "Clara, I don't need anything. I just want to be left alone," Gustavo insisted, offering medical care and something to eat. Despite her initial resistance, Clara, weakened by the cold and hunger, agreed. He took her to the hospital. At the hospital, Gustavo ensured that Clara received medical care. He personally oversaw her exams and asked his team to be discreet to avoid making her feel exposed. During the evaluation, he discovered that Clara was malnourished and showed signs of minor infections. But what worried him most were the emotional scars evident in her gaze. While waiting for her test results, Gustavo spoke with her. "Gustavo, why were you out there in that situation? Do you have family?" Clara lowered her head. "Clara, family. I lost everything in an accident. After that, life just fell apart." This brief exchange left Gustavo deeply moved. He realized this was not just a health issue but a matter of emotional survival. Clara began attending therapy sessions, and during one of the activities she was encouraged to draw. Gustavo visited her at the shelter and noticed a drawing in a notebook, a representation of the night he found her. "Gustavo, did you do this? It's incredible." "Clara, it's just a sketch. I used to like drawing when I was younger, but life didn't give me time to dream." Gustavo encouraged her to pursue her talent, gifting her a drawing kit. This small gesture motivated her. As months passed, Gustavo and Clara became closer. He accompanied her to events and supported her growth. Clara, in turn, felt increasingly safe and confident. One sunny afternoon at the park, while talking about their dreams, Gustavo noticed something new in Clara, a spark in her eyes that hadn't been there before. "Gustavo, you know you have something special, don't you? Something that transforms the people around you." Clara, laughing, "Transform? I can barely believe I deserve any of this." "Gustavo, you do, Clara. You deserve all of this and so much more." At that moment, Clara realized her feelings for Gustavo went beyond gratitude. One evening, Gustavo invited Clara to dinner. He was nervous but determined to be honest. After the meal, as they walked through a lit-up square, he finally spoke. "Gustavo, Clara, I need to tell you something. I never imagined that stopping on that street that night would change my life so much. What I feel for you goes beyond admiration. I think I'm falling in love with you." Clara was shocked, but his gaze was sincere. She hesitated, afraid to open up, but couldn't deny her feelings. "Clara, Gustavo, I feel the same way, but I'm scared. Scared of not being enough, scared of not being ready." He took her hand. "Gustavo, we can face this together." When they made their relationship official, Gustavo faced criticism from friends and colleagues. "Colleague, are you really dating a woman who used to live on the streets? This could ruin your reputation." Gustavo firmly replied, "Gustavo, My reputation is not more important than the truth, and the truth is, I love her. Clara, on the other hand, dealt with both internal and external prejudice. At an amateur art exhibit where she presented her first paintings, she overheard demeaning comments about her past. Gustavo, however, supported her and helped her strengthen her confidence. 2 years later, Gustavo and Clara got married in a simple yet emotional ceremony. Inspired by their story, they decided to open an NGO called New Beginnings, offering shelter, therapy, and opportunities for homeless individuals. Clara led the artistic activities, while Gustavo coordinated the medical care. Together, they transformed the pain of their past into hope for the future. Clara, if I've learned anything, it's that life can begin again, even in the most difficult circumstances, and I want others to know that too. The story ends with an art exhibition organized by Clara, where one of her works is sold to raise funds for the NGO. Love, compassion, and courage can overcome any barrier. This is not just Gustavo and Clara's story, but a reminder that by helping others, we can discover the best version of ourselves.